Hello, chat. We're live for the longest pregame of all time because they have to do double anthems and do all the ceremony just like last time. But I hope your Thursday is going well. And I hope this game ends up being exciting. We'll see. We'll see. We're kicking it old school. We're just chilling at home. We got Mrs. Rudo in the background on the side. No scoreboards today because Tiff is taking the evening off. But, you know, we're just hanging out, watching hockey. Hopefully it's a good time. We'll see. I am curious how Mikko looks at this tournament. Obviously, we've talked a lot about how much effort the player's going to put in. It's a good amount of effort in game one between Canada and Sweden, but obviously in the regular season, Mikko is notorious for not going full bore. So we'll see if he kicks it up a notch for this tournament or if he's still in regular season mode. But then, you know, Finland has guys like Lecky who only know how to play one way too. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of quality hockey. Just curious about Mikko specifically on that front. And to be honest, I'm curious how Finland approaches the game as a whole, right? Because on a pure skill basis, America's just got more skill top to bottom in their lineup. So could be a little bit difficult for Finland to match that. Not that they aren't talented at the top, but certainly at the bottom of Finland's lineup. There's a disparity there, to say the least. I don't know. Let me actually pull this up. I hope it's entertaining. I'm a little scared that this could end up being a blowout and it ends up being a really boring game, but I hope that doesn't happen. I am curious how Hellebuck plays too, to be honest. Obviously, Hellebuck has been the best regular season goaltender in the NHL for the past couple of years on the whole, but his playoff numbers are not great. So if you're treating this like playoff style hockey, I don't know if I trust Hellebuck back there. Boy, it is tough when you look at the bottom of that Finnish lineup, man. Armia, Luosterainen, even someone like Kakko, there is a lack of production for an international tournament in that lineup, for sure. What do we have for dinner, chat? I just finished my potatoes and meatballs. It was very delicious. It was a little sweet. What? Nah, I'm good. I was going to maybe have them later, but if they're in the way, just get rid of them. Used a DoorDash or McDonald's coupon for a free Big Mac. Let's go. Free food is the best food. That's where I'm at. I do like Finland's jerseys. I'm usually not a big, they just wrote their name on the jersey fan, but I think a lot of the other jerseys, a lot of the other jerseys this year are boring. Steak asparagus wrap in bacon and baked potato. Ooh, that sounds really good. I'm about that, Degro. For the record, I don't really care who wins. I'm not a big root for America guy. It was different back in the day when America was clearly like an underdog. These days, they're right up there with Canada as one of the best teams. So it's whatever to me. This is, I mean, I don't know how much. I really don't like Canada's current jersey. I think it's ugly. It's not for me. I think a lot of their older ones are much, much better. This is like the first real international competition for a lot of these guys, right? Like, I know they play in the World Championships or whatever, but that's a little bit different for guys like Matthews. Even Eichel, really, I guess. Did he? Let me see. Maybe he played in some. I mean, I guess Eichel played in the first World Cup, but I guess you would count that. I guess that's fair to count. But you even have like the Kachuk brothers, Boldy. On the back end, guys like Adam Fox, too. Like, there's a lot of dudes who have never really played in the truly highest level of international competition. And maybe you don't call that this tournament that either, to be fair, with no Russia and none of these other countries. But all righty. Can we get to the 2 anthems, please? Still have 10 minutes to puck drop. Bruh. National games guaranteed to start 20 minutes late, I guess. That's the rules. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure that building is. I'm sure it won't be as loud as Canada playing, but I'm sure there's lots of people there. We've got Ferraro and Bob on the call. Ooh. The real question is, who's your favorite player on each one of these teams? Like, I feel like Finland's pretty easy. I love Mikko and I love Barkov, so just take one of those. I don't know who my favorite player on Team USA is, though. I'd have to think about it. Maybe Matthew Tkachuk. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if Saros can play well, too. He's not had a fantastic year. And, I mean, to be fair, Nashville's been horrible. So, like, how much of that is actually Saros' fault? But he was only just okay last year, too. So he might need to find his old form to really give Finland a chance. Oh, I don't know. We have beers. I don't know if we have any hard alcohol. I might have to just chug a beer if we get to winner shots territory. I don't know. What score predictions do we have? I kind of feel like this is going to be a lower scoring game, but I don't know that it'll actually end up that way. Like, if I'll put it this way, I think if Finland is going to win, it's probably going to be lower scoring. If USA wins, they could blow them out for sure. There you go, a water shot. It is Thursday, not Friday, so fair enough, maybe. What's up, Sylvie? Yeah, you upset? Yeah, you gotta wait. It's almost your dinner time, and then you can come out and you can eat. Oh. No. Oh my God, we still haven't started the anthems. Please. Are we going to have a whole big ceremony? Doesn't look like it. They don't have the full red carpet rolled out. They just have the short one. So should be a little faster at least. Where, like, I obviously understand why Russia 2-1 Finland or Vancouver 2010. I mean, I'm down for either of those. Either of those would probably be an exciting game. So either way works for me. But where do you guys think, if Russia was at this tournament, where do they rank? Third, fourth, fifth, second? I mean, I don't think they're top two. But big Gensel looking kind of short next to Werenski there. Dead last, solid fifth. Not related, no. They just happen to share a last name. I think Sweden is better than Russia, but not good. And it's fair enough. I mean, I guess it depends too, right? Like at normal international competition, Russia always brings some KHL players and things like that. But at this tournament, you had to bring all NHLers, so it might be a little weird if Russia was here. Who is the best player in this game? Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're a Euro situation, sucks more than just like for international hockey. It sucks as a whole. Finland? You think Miko's the best player? I think that I can't really argue that. I think Barkov gives him a run for his money. Yeah, I don't know that Matthews is the best player for USA. Matthews definitely best goal scorer. Like if you're getting into specifics like that, but best all around player, I don't know if it's Matthews. Hellebuck's probably a fair shout. I wasn't really thinking about goalies, but yeah, you could definitely make that argument. Like Jack Hughes probably isn't the best player yet, but maybe he would be if you give him a couple more years. Yeah, I think Matthew Kachuk is. I don't know if he's the best player, but he's maybe the most well-rounded player. Eichel would definitely be a fair call too, like especially these last couple of years in Vegas. He's been really, really good. I don't think you could really reasonably say anybody else, but just give me something fun that Lehkonen does so I can talk about it. That's all I want. A little Avalanche action. Dude, homie's talking to himself. I don't know. I couldn't even tell what he was saying. But dude, the Avs like tweeted out the picture of the warm ups, and I thought like almost all of the warm ups looked better than the actual jerseys. They posted it yesterday, so I don't know if I can find it. Really, but yeah, like the Canadian black warm ups look so sick. Dude, this Finnish isn't a real language. How do you learn that language? It's so crazy. No, AJ really likes Brock Nelson. He really didn't want Scott Lawton, which like I don't hate Nelson, but I'm definitely lower on him than AJ is. I wonder how many people like traveled to this event as they show a bunch of Finnish people. So there you go. But I'm sure plenty did, but I'm curious what the like in arena split is between locals who just bought tickets to the event and actual like people that travel for US. Obviously, the travel wouldn't be that bad, right? But for Finland and Sweden, it might be tough. It might be tough to get out to this event. Yeah, I mean, clearly Nelson, you're getting Nelson because you're afraid of being too samey, right? Like, I think that's part of the issue that a lot of people have with Middlestat is he's very handsy, he plays very cute hockey, and yes, he's not very fast, but he leans into that stylistically soft top six, and that's why people have a bit of a problem with it. Nelson is not that at all. He's a goal scorer, he's big, he's physical, he'll go to the front of the net, he'll do those type of things. And like anytime you're getting a guy like that, you're taking a risk that he doesn't fit in the systems and he just sucks. But if you need something a little bit different in your lineup, you have to take that chance, right? All right, we are underway. The ref cam. Yeah, we're just kicking it casual tonight, so no clock on the screen. I'll give you a verbal time check 1948, 47, 46, 45, 44. If you ever need a sync, just ask. If I see your comment, I'll sync it up again for you. It's like it took so long to get this stuff, dude. I am curious about USA's defense. It's you're talking about Nelson. USA's defense might be a bit on the softer side for sure. Not a whole lot of grinders back there. We have Cooper and Sullivan here. Bednar snump again, confirmed. Yeah, pretty big favorites on the betting man. Kachuk willing to lay the body. I mean, that's why you love him. He'll play physical no matter what. Okay, pretty slow start to this game so far. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a hit, but it was solid. All right, cool. quick. Who's the best face-off guy in this game? Can the Avs trade for him? Okay. A lot more feisty than the Canada-Sweden game so far. That's not Pedersen, though. You're attacking the wrong guy. Do I think Bednar could coach an international competition like this? Absolutely. He's won a Stanley Cup. He's one of the longest tenured coaches in the NHL. He absolutely has that resume, accolades. It's just so hard when you're from Canada, right? Like coaching Canada, there's a billion people available for that job. Like Cooper is one of the only coaches in the NHL that is longer tenured than Bednar, and Cooper's won more Stanley Cups. So it's tough to coach for Canada. When you start talking about like Olympics and stuff, the Olympics is you're allowed to take coaches from other countries. Like people from Canada regularly end up coaching teams from like China and all these other places. So if Bednar wanted to, I bet he could get a job coaching at the Olympics. It's just I don't know if he wants to coach for anybody but Canada. Guy cam alert, not my favorite. I mean I don't hate John Cooper. I understand like I do I was a little disappointed like when he was losing in the cup final. I expected him to conduct himself with a little more decorum than he did. But I, I don't hate him for it. He's trying to get out there and help his team in the way that he can as a coach. Ooh, it was there. Guess they're going to get a power play here. Ross checking, huh? Oh, that was not the penalty. He was trying the little Miko chip shot there. Bold move, given that Miko's playing in this game. That's a little soft, man. That's a little soft. That was unfortunate for Finland. All right. I mean, how do you set up this power play? Realistically, you probably want Matthews to be shooter number one, but you're perfectly happy with Eichel being a shooter too. So I guess it doesn't really matter either side. Fox working the top. I don't. Gensel feels a little bit weird. I don't know where Gensel fits on this power play. Kachuk's the net front guy. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. But Gensel in the bumper, I don't know about that. I'm not convinced. Okay, we're gonna get to see unit two, I guess. They go with Boldy, Kachuk, Connor, Hughes, and Werenski. So Hughes is your high forward with Werenski, makes sense. Boldy's probably your shooter. Connor, kind of the extra setup man. And then Kachuk again, probably net front. Yeah, Bob and Ray is a good combo for sure. Good choice. He's real sloppy, Jack. Real sloppy right now from USA. I'm just looking a little bit like a bad Avs power play so far. You were offside by like 10 feet. What was that? Yeah, I mean, I think there was a little bit of lack of physicality in that first game between Canada and Sweden. There was some, but it was not like there's nowhere near playoff atmosphere physicality. This game so far has been extremely physical. Like they've been willing to mix it up after the whistles. The hits are coming out. This feels a lot more like a grindy playoff game atmosphere than the first game did. Why are you yelling about mustard, Piff? I mean, this is how Finland has to play at this tournament, right? This is the style of hockey that they're going to have to use to win because they're just knocking out talent teams. Nico passes it to nobody. Classic. Actually, kind of worked out. Yeah, the banner is too big. TNT kind of did it too to like show you who's on the ice, but they compacted the TNT one a lot more. It feels like it's taking up way too like you could make it work, but you need to tell your cameraman, hey, you need to zoom out a little bit extra because of the banner. Right now, the banner is cutting off a lot of like potential play. I have the game on mute, so I can't. I don't know. I don't know if they're playing what they're playing. All right, Finland really has not been dangerous at all. That's the only thing. They're gonna have to find a way to generate some decent chances, especially against Hellebuck. Oh, a little crossbar action. All right, all right. Carlos is battling out there. I don't know that I'd be that interested in Yoki Haru, to be honest. Have a look. You can look up some of those numbers. Hey, log in. Yeah, his isolated impacts are pretty meh. They're not bad. They're just not particularly good either. Where does Jay Fresh have him at? Pretty poor. Yeah, at 3.2 mil, I think tough. It would be tough for Yoki Haru to make sense for the Avs. If it was at like, I guess if like Buffalo half retained, maybe it makes a little bit more sense. Mm. Yeah, the under was definitely Good shout. I kind of was expecting a low scoring game too, so a good bet. All I'm saying is, if they're willing to put cameras on the refs' helmets, why not put cameras on the players' helmets? Especially for an event like this, where like really not that meaningful. Like I know players want to play for their country and all that, but it's not the Olympics. There's not a gold medal waiting at the other side where players feel like they absolutely need to be in perfect spots and care about weird stuff like a camera on their helmets. Seems like it would be a good tournament to do something fun like that. USA to win by shutout plus 600. I mean, it very well could happen. I just don't know if plus 600 is enough to give me a bite on that. For a shutout, I'd like a little bit more money. Hockey's too fluky. Random goals happen all the time. Okay. Well, Finland's going to have to do a better job of getting out of their own zone with possession than they are right now. They're not giving up much, but they're also tilting it into they're not doing anything at all offensively. Weird little play there. It was a good stick by Mikko, actually, but that kind of just trickled through anyway. Lucky trying to streak up ice. Pass was not good. All right. Barkov doesn't like having the puck, I guess. I mean, I just want some fun hockey. Again, I don't really have a rooting interest, to be honest. There you go. 3-on-2 for Finland. Oh, Connor Hellebuck sucks in big games. That is so soft from Hellebuck. All right. Well, I just said Yoki Haru isn't all that good, and he scores the first goal of the tournament for Finland. So what do I know? USA gets caught a little bit here, but this really is not that game. Hellebuck is there. He tracks it all the way, and he just gets beat clean. Like, a little bit of a knuckling puck, but Hellebuck opens up there, gets beat under the armpit. Ugh. Yucky, 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 yucky. After last year, yeah, I think a lot of people probably want to play the Jets round one. God, that's interference. Holy, how do you not call that? Yogi Haru just tackled him, dude. All right. I mean, this is, you couldn't write the game any better for Finland. This is exactly how they wanted it to go. We'll see if the USA can turn up the wick a little bit and put some pressure on. Or they could give up another goal. USA all of a sudden really sloppy with the puck. Momentum shifts quick, baby. Yep. Another turnover at the offensive blue line. Heavy forecheck, though. They're trying to pressure him. Did they pipe? I can't hear. Again, I have it on mute, so I don't know if they did the teams like get to choose their goal horns or something? Is there? I really didn't follow any of that stuff. I mean, I just don't know. Even if Connor Hellebuck, another post. Finland getting a little bit lucky. I guess it was another crossbar, really. Even if Connor Hellebuck goes into free fall mode, Winnipeg is so far ahead in the Central. I just don't see how anyone could catch them. Like, what is the actual? Let me look at the actual gap. Yeah, I mean, they're 9 points ahead. I guess Dallas has a game in hand, but 9 points ahead of Dallas, 11 points ahead of Minnesota, and Minnesota doesn't even have any games. Like, that is crazy. It would be a crazy task to catch Winnipeg, even for them, let alone the Avs. But yeah, I mean, 100%. If Hellebuck struggles in the playoffs again, a lot of teams going to be looking to chop. I really haven't liked Barkov very much so far. He hasn't played very well. Nico getting physical. You know, Finland is serious if Nico's doing it. Oh man, 1-0 Finland. Is that the script? That was it. That's all the goal scoring we're gonna get. I mean, I Hellebuck's regular season statistics are pretty undeniable. He is, without a doubt, the best goalie in the regular season. The last, I mean, obviously he just won the Vezina, but the last 5 years, if you look at his career in the regular season, it's great. But it's valid that if you look at his career in the playoffs, it's not very good. Like his worst regular season in the last 5 years was a 9-10. And that's his second worst season. Like his worst ever NHL season was a 907. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you count this years above 920 or at 920 or better, I guess I should say. He's a really good goaltender in the regular season. It's just, I think that's pretty undeniable. It's just when you look at the playoffs, he's a different guy. Last year, 870. The year before that, 886. He was actually really good in 2021. 931 that year. The year before that, 904. He was really good in their deep run, too. When they went to the conference finals, he had a 922. So he's capable of it, but he just can't seem to consistently perform in the playoffs. I mean, hockey is hockey. I can't speak to his entire career. What I can tell you last year when the Avs beat them is he gave up the most goals of anyone from out high. And part of that conversation is in the playoffs, guys are working harder. Guys are going to the dirty areas. They're getting in those lanes. So it seems like Hellebuck might have some issues tracking pucks through screens and things like that. And it's just harder to prevent players from getting in those positions in the playoffs. The other angle you can take is that Hellebuck just burns out because there is no doubt he plays a ton. Played 60 games last year, 64 games the year before that, 66 the year before that. Winnipeg relies on him to play a lot, and he might just run out of gas by the time the playoffs come around. Oh, did that go in? I think it went in. Chef brother number 2. don't think Saros played it very well, to be honest, but oh, it just trickles through him. Yeah. Huh. 3 Finns get beat to the net there. That's tough. Tough to watch. 3 Finns chasing Boldy down. Well, not Bolt, Kachuk, Brady, I should say. My bad. All right. That is not the script for Finland. Giving that goal back, life's going to get real hard for the Finns now. To be fair, both goalies giving up a bit of a soft one, so we'll call it even on that front. Finland team feels a little bit slow. Obviously, it's early, but it does feel like USA's skating pace has been quite a bit higher so far. Maybe they're not slow. Maybe they're just playing a little flat footed. Maybe that's what it is. Kind of back for a couple minutes there. It looked like Finland was in control, but we kind of settled back into USA dominating the puck again. That's a trip for sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see how they run this power play. They were running in practice before the tournament. Their top unit was 5 forwards since Heiskanen got hurt. They're running Aho as the blue line guy with a 5 forward unit of Nico Line, I think Teravainen, and I forget who the 5th forward was. Yeah, I agree. The jerseys are just not that good this year. But hey, maybe they'll be better for the next World Cup. Oh, was it Bark? You're right. You're right. I'm stupid. It is Barkov on the blue line, and Aho's the 5th forward. I got them mixed up. My bad. My bad. Let's see. You immediately have USA trying to rush it down shorthanded against it. I think the Finnish jersey is the best one of the 4, just because I think the rest of them are blah. Like I don't like Canada's at all. Sweden's is fine, but it's just always the same thing for them. It's nothing, just their same jersey that they bring to every international tournament. I actually don't hate USA's. They have like a little bit of gray in the letter mark, which is a little new and different. But okay, well, they're finally set up a minute in. Line can shoot it, that's for sure. You got what you wanted. Line just couldn't hit the net. I think the logo just looks kind of ugly, and the cream colored stripe across it is not very pretty either. Like compared to what they've had, like the Evil Empire black Canadian jerseys looked sick. They were so cool a couple years ago. All right. All right. You get a nice face-off win. I don't know that Lindell is the guy you want shooting on your power play, but I guess you do run. You're running Lindell and Lecky on this unit, so you're just throwing bodies in front, I guess. Yeah, I mean Finland's decor is rough, man. There's especially after Heiskanen got hurt, there is not a lot of hope for that decor. Well, it was kind of there. Lecky tried to find it. Ooh, another good chance for Cape Turbo, but bringing a knockdown from Granlund there to keep this play alive. Lecky in the bumper. I don't know. Really don't have a great shooter on this unit as a whole. Good thought from Turbo. He like fanned on it and almost worked. Now it's a breakaway out of the box. Well read by Saros. Big save for Finland. USA scores there. You might start running away with this thing. All right. Finland trying to find a little bit of jump here. Trying to go all the way across there. Couldn't hit it. USA maybe trying to stretch the ice a little bit on them here. They might have found something. Nico able to collect there. USA doing a good job of packing the top of the net. They're not giving anything to guys like Lecky in front right now. Oh, Miko actually makes a back check. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? I mean, we knew it. We knew Miko was not giving it 100% for the Avs. Not all that unusual in the regular season over the past few years for him. He's such a good player that he's still really good anyway, but you kind of just have to live with that with Miko. You know he'll show up when it counts, but I mean, who's to say? Maybe Miko comes back in the offseason and then we have to deal with it again. Pasta. I feel like they're playing these goals in the wrong order. They started off with the coolest ones, and they're getting successively less cool. They interview Line. That's a choice. Why Line is 92, I wonder. I mean, it's not going to happen. I'd never say never, right? But like, Mikko Rantanen is a human being, and I can't imagine a guy getting traded wanting to go back to the team that traded him, right? It's just human nature that you feel kind of slighted by something like that. But maybe he really liked it here. Maybe he wanted to be here. Maybe he thinks about it and decides that he made a mistake with the way he was trying to negotiate and decides he wants to be here. It's not impossible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not impossible. I mean, first shit. What the rumor is, he's not even going to stay to Carolina until the trade deadline, which would be what in the world are the Hurricanes doing if they do that? But I don't see any world where Mikko comes back for 11. I think you're probably looking at around 12 to 12 and a half, something like that, for Colorado's absolute best offer. And he could definitely get more. Like if he just wants the most money possible, he's not coming back to Colorado. He'll go somewhere else. But if he liked it here, if he wants to live here, if he wants to come back and play with McKinnon, I'm sure the same offer will be on the table that was here when they traded him. I'll put it to you that way. I'm actually not. I'm not sure that the league would let Carolina trade Mikko back to the Avs. Like, even if it was unintentional, which, like, I'm sure it would be. It's not like the Avs did it on purpose. You get into really dicey cap circumvention territory if they were to trade him back, because then it's like you traded a player for another team to retain salary on his contract. Again, I'm not saying like it was some master plan or anything, but a lot of teams would not be happy if the Avs just got Mikko back for half the price of his contract so they could also have Natchez on the team. All right. I mean, obviously you don't love that goal for Finland, but I think you have to be pretty happy with this period. USA did outpossess you, but it's not like crazy. You're not getting dominated. And there's the Bambi Mikko falling down. Ooh, cute little shot there. Didn't work, but all right. Good little breakout for Finland. You end up just dumping it, though. Not a lot of dudes carrying it across the blue lines for Finland right now. I would also be annoyed if Mikko ended up in the West. Yeah, another good hit. Eichel on Barkov there. There were a few in the Canada-Sweden game, but nothing like this. This game has been way, way more physical than the first one. This period feels like it has taken forever, dude. Another dump out. And yeah, I'd like Finland's a team that's built to play with the lead, man. They really are. And they had it and they lost it. They're going to have to dig deep to find that second goal and try and win this thing 2-1. Oh, boy. Hughes just ran out of room. Definitely a bit tough when your national squad is icing a guy with 20 NHL games in Matt and Paulo. Little no goal here. Well, you got to get to the net to score no. Just end the period. Just end the period. You don't got to blow that whistle. Just throw a puck back on the ice and let's go. Oh, he just kind of lost it too. Not your best, Jack. Not your best. Yeah, I mean, look, goalie could always shit the bed, right? That's always a possibility. Bro, just drop the puck. Look, come on. There's 14 seconds left in this period. Let's go. Hey, can you even say find something here? Not a great shot selection from Weinski. And then another good block, and the period is toast. All right. I mean, we're getting a good game. I don't know that it's really been that high octane, but it's tied up. Finland's trying to make it work. I'm going to take my intermission break, though. Appreciate all y'all hanging out for a little fun game. Go get a drink, enjoy yourself, and I will be back in a little bit. Okay, we back. I mean, realistically, I, how many places could actually like afford to bring Nico back next year and keep their roster completely intact? Columbus, Anaheim, maybe San Jose, maybe Calgary, maybe. If the Avs were to do it, they'd have to move on from guys like Bruin for sure. So it's so hard to say when Nico would end up if he doesn't end up signing in Carolina because there just aren't that many teams that can straight up fit him, but there are a ton of teams that would make it work for him, right? So who knows? Ugh. Yeah, I mean, I miss Nico too, but sometimes it's for the best. We'll see. I don't know, Chet. Do you think Crosby was trying to pass to Marner there on that drop pass that won the game the other night? I think it's on purpose. Rooting for USA. I mean, that's fair. I don't care who wins. But how much time does your boy have on ice? Can't be much. Let's see. Oh, right. It's Prater. Not even him. So he has 0. Team Lucky. I mean, I'm down. I'm probably Team Lucky just because Finland's the underdogs. No, Larkin is playing. That was right. He's just only played 2 minutes and 25 seconds. I don't know. I don't think you're a bad American. I usually root against USA in a lot of sports. Everyone thinks I'm a bad American when the Olympics come around. That's for sure. Get plus 1,000 for Finland to win the whole tournament. It's actually not that good. Those odds aren't that great. Puck is down. We are playing hockey as alerted by my dog Sylvie. 1945, 44, 43, 42, 41. Finland a little sloppy with the puck. USA can't capitalize though. I thought Matthew, or I thought the U.S. as a whole would be a better shooting team than they've shown in this game. Obviously, I said Matthews' name just there, but they have a bunch of other good shooters, like guys like Boldy, Eichel, even Matthew Tkachuk shoots pretty well. You'd think they'd be able to score at a little bit more of an efficient clip, which I guess they have hit a couple of posts in this game. So fair enough, but all right. See if Finland can hold it together here, if USA's pressure is just going to flood over the walls. Well, you got a little odd man rush here. I hate that they do that. I really wish they would stop zooming in the camera in the neutral zone. It makes it impossible to see how the play is developing. All right. Here you go. And that's not a good shot, but it's good possession at least. You're fighting back on the puck management side. You got to get a shot on eventually here, though, Finland. Just feels like they're not connecting when they try to get it out off the wall. And then really bad turnover. Gonna get away with it, it looks like, though. Recovered okay, even if the turnover was scary. All right. All right. I mean, so far, this period's been more interesting than the first. There was long stretches of nothing in the first, but both sides have looked dangerous. They haven't really done anything with that danger, to be fair. But here you go. Here you go. Got to hit the net. Offsides kills the mojo. It was a good flow to the game there for a minute. I don't know. What do we think is Sullivan as a coach? Obviously, he won a couple of cups with that Pittsburgh team that he joined mid-season. I don't think he's a bad coach by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I'd take Bednar over him. I'd put it that way. I know, obviously, it's the American team, so Bednar wasn't an option, but I'm just saying in the global sense. Thank you, Ryan. Gotta rep LOC while you can, all right? Not every day you get to wear the mayor of Denver's shirt. Felt like a weird whistle, but okay. Really could be 3-1. Yeah, Saros had that breakaway all the way. That was well read. Always giving you New York version of Bednar as far as being a player's coach. I mean, I think he's always been a little more animated than Bednar. You know, Bednar is usually a very, very calm coach in all situations. But who knows? We've seen a little bit of more spicy Bednar this year, I guess. Yeah, a little too much of that from Finland. A little too much flip it out. a 1-1 game with this much time left. And again, I know their defense is a weakness, but just hard to win games when you're flipping it out in that situation. The U.S. slowing down their breakout a little bit here, which I imagine that's more what Finland wants. A lot of USA's chances have come from pace. Finland is happy to play this wall grindy style. Hannafin gets dropped by Granlund. I did say that USD might be a little bit on the soft side. All right. Can you get a shot with this possession, Finland? Not. I mean, you took a shot. It just didn't go on net. Yeah. All right. That was almost spicy, but Lucky broke it up. The defensive stalwart. I guess Finland does have the secret good stick weapon. All right. This is a close game and overtime or later or late in the third. Lecky can score a clutch goal or two. He could be that guy. He's done it plenty. Ooh, Mikko fanning on a puck on the half wall. Seen that before. I just don't know. Like these last three shifts, Finland's done a much better job of possessing the puck, but like to what end? They weren't dangerous at all. That didn't feel very good. They're calling that boarding, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to see it from not the camera angle. So they're just not going to show it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know what he's supposed to do there. One, he doesn't really hit him that hard. Two, Gensel turns in. Like he turns his back to him as they're connecting. Like, I don't know about that call. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's soft for sure. Especially with how physical this game has been. And like, I get the optics. Gensel goes in hard, and everyone on a planet is like, no, please don't get hurt. No NHLers get hurt at this tournament. But like, that's not though. Like, I understand what you're saying with the definition of boarding, but there is onus on the offensive player to protect himself too. If he sees a guy coming to hit him and he turns his back at the last second, like that's on him because he's eligible to be hit right until he turns his back. So it's you can't call it boarding when a player does that, and that's like Gensel did exactly that. He turned his back as the hit was happening. Finland survived the first USA power play. I think it might be tough for them to survive a second here, though. I guess they do have a pretty darn good defending forward core for the penalty kill. Lundell, Barkov, Lehkonen, even someone like Armia. It's just that the actual defense, you have Lindell and a bunch of guys. Okay, tie up face off. USA is able to come away with it, though. Well, if USA's power play is going to look like this, I guess Finland doesn't care if they get penalties called on them, because what should have been an easy possession and chance has now turned into USA mismanaging the puck for 30 seconds. Ooh, if you get a clear there. Ooh, there you go. There you go. It's not going to be able to get to the net, but making his PK look easy. Yikes, USA. Struggling right now. I say that, and they're going to score, but their puck management on this power play, very casual. Playing very out high here. Not a lot of penetration at all. Yeah, I think that was a pass from Matthews for sure. Gensel just couldn't quite get it. Good read by Saros. Finland's actual defenders then a little sloppy. A couple chances net front there that you would have liked to stop, but calling that what, a scoring chance? I don't think so. I mean, he gets it on net, I guess, but you ain't scoring on that play. Okay, I mean, really, that's a good kill. US just got one quality chance, and that's, I mean, they had a second one that they fanned on, I guess, but it's a pretty fine penalty kill if you're Finland. Whoop. There was another good chance. USA finding a little something there, getting pucks to the middle, but they're not hitting the net. Another blocked shot there. Fight? We fighting? Wow, they didn't call a whistle there? That's crazy. That's crazy. You call that boarding, but you're not calling anything on whatever that was, huh? Okay. You say so. Mikkola actually got owned here. Kachuk, I don't know that he reverse hit him, but Mikkola is trying to lay the body and just gets cooked. And then they get into it, and the USA has about 10 friggin' dudes on the ice. It's scrappy. It's scrappy. Lecky looked okay. There was the only guy I saw was the guy who jumped on for US. Looked like he was grabbing his head. What's up, DJ? I mean, I don't know if we'll get another replay or not. We'll see. They certainly have not shied away from him. Lehkonen has the second most TOI of any forward. Only Barkov has more. Lekkonen's played more than a minute more than Rantanen has so far. I mean, I think the first two periods of this game have been more exciting than the first two periods of last game. The first two periods of Canada Sweden weren't really all that good. The third period in overtime was crazy, but the first two periods were kind of meh. And yeah, I'm all for the if you have a 10-minute 3-on-3, seriously, like 95% of games are going to end before you get a shootout. I like that too. I mean, the penalties just shouldn't carry over, right? You should just have to play regulation until the power plays end. And then once you go back to full strength, you can go to overtime or whatever. Just extend the game. Actually punish them for taking penalties. When you think a trade is going to be made, apparently some players were told don't expect to be somewhere. Yeah, I think, good chance. USA is looking like a bad Avs game right now. Overpassing, flat on a power play. I know this vibe. I do think some trades will happen. I don't think they'll happen until next week, though. There's not an official roster freeze or anything, but all teams are taking time off until the 18th. Once the tournament moves to Boston, I think we'll see things pick up and we might see some trades get made. Yeah, you got to shoot that, man. That's one pass too many for sure. I mean, their bench looks full. I don't see anyone missing on the bench, so I'm not panicking yet. USA can't hit the net either. This is a very familiar bad Avs game. Ooh, couldn't finish. It's tough when when the Finland isn't finishing those chances. You know they're just not going to get a ton of those the way USA is. Now my dog is in the dog run. See? Well, like he's definitely been skipped in the rotation once now. I don't see any gaps in their bench is the thing. Nah, was that him? I couldn't tell. Anyway, USA has kind of shut down a little bit here. Still not quite there to generating the chances for Finland, but they're spending more time in USA's zone now. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's only been 4 minutes since Lecky's last shift. So it's not like it's gone crazy. He missed a ton of time. See, the thing is, I don't want Nemec. Even if you like him, which like I wasn't a huge fan of him in his draft year, he doesn't fit what the Avs need at all. The Avs don't need an offensive minded D-men with suspect defense like that. I think his skating is also a question. I don't think he makes sense at all for the Avs. And yes, like he did step back in there. So we all good. Nobody panic. Kind of a weird period, actually. USA's only registered 2 shots on goal. Finland just 6, but more what you would expect from Finland. And it's not like USA hasn't gotten chances. They just have not hit the net at all. I do like Brandt Clark, but does LA have to choose? I mean, I really think they feel like they could go deep this year, and I don't think they want to move on from any roster pieces. Because I know, like, you look at the standings and it feels like they're far back, but they've played the least games of anyone in the NHL, so they have a ton of games in hand on everybody. And like realistically, I guess they'd probably have to move something out if they want to make a move at the deadline, but they have options there that are probably make more sense. Like they could move Jano out as kind of a cap dump. Yeah, I mean, long term, I get what you're saying. Like, they probably have to do something with those guys eventually, but they have Spence and Clark for another year on their current deals, and then their RFAs. So they just don't, those players don't have a lot of negotiating power, really. And in Clark's case, he doesn't even have arb rights. He has nothing. Almost, Miko. Almost. I mean, Boston needs centers for sure. So I could see them having interest. Middlestead is definitely not like your typical Boston type of player, but they probably would have some interest there, I would think. The problem is what Boston really needs is a proper 1C because Pavel Zacha ain't it, but there aren't really any 1Cs that are just readily out there for them. So I also don't know that Boston is a great trade partner with the Avs. I guess if you're interested in Marchand, but I'm really not. So I mean, realistically, what do you want off of Boston's roster? Zadorov, maybe, but he has an NMC for this year. What else are you moving? Like someone like Peak is not enough for Middlestat. Like you need more than that in a deal like that. I don't think they're moving Lorai. I mean, yeah, if Carlo is a real option, 100%. Very, very interested. But I'm just assuming that those guys are on the do not trade list for them. It looked like Lecky missed a shift or two, Roberto, but he's okay now. Ooh. Good back and forth game, to be honest. Every time I say, all right, one team is starting to take over the pressure now, then the other team punches back. It's not like a super high octane game, but it's pretty darn even. I'm enjoying it. Tried to sauce it across, maybe just shoot that one. Yes. I mean, I'm watching the hockey and enjoying it because I love watching hockey, but I don't care who wins these games. I'm not actually too worried about the Avs getting hurt. Like, I don't think it'll happen, and it'll be a freak thing if it does. So I'm just not thinking about it all that much, unless obviously something like what happened with Lecky where he misses a shift or two. Just kind of bobbled over Hintz's stick there. Yeah, Coyle's not worth the contract. The Avs are way too cap pressed to be messing around with something like that. And Coyle is what, 32 or something? Yeah, almost 33. I mean, if you were going to build a game that leads to a crazy Arturi Lehkonen game winner late in the third, it might look like this. Well, I don't know what Kesselring's contract is. Let me look. Another year at 1.4. That's a pretty solid. I mean, I'd rather have Valimaki if we're having that conversation, to be honest. The problem with Kesselring is, like, I don't know if I trust him to be a second pairing guy. He's probably more of like a third pairing guy for the Avs. But you can make that argument about Valimaki too. I just like Valimaki more. Oh no! Disaster for Finland. They lose the wall battle. What a tip. That's a crazy tip by Boldy. Nothing Saros can do about that one. It's even defended pretty decently. That's just a great play right there, man. You can't tip it any better than that. All right. Now it gets really tough for Finland. I just don't know how this – I don't think this team has the firepower to play that effectively from behind. I mean, sure. If you're like – and Bednar does like to have his lefty-righty, but Gerard has played on his offside before plenty. You also both – everyone but Malinsky can play on their offside on their bottom pairing right now. So – I'm sure a righty has some value more than a lefty, but not a ton. It is 2-1 USA. No, there's no world where Minnie's trading Boldy. If we are truly living in the worst timeline, Minnesota's about to have a ton more money available next season, and they could sign Mikko. Man. I am curious to see what a shutdown defensive USA looks like, because they have some guys, the Kachucks. Their defense is a little all over the place, though, and they have on their high end, they don't have a ton of super duper shutdown guys. I guess they have Slavin on the defensive side. That's fair. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Mikko would think. The way I said it is I seriously doubt it, but never say never on Mikko coming back. Like, the question is, does Mikko want money or does he want to win more? Because if he wants money, then he's never coming back to Colorado. If he wants to win more, Colorado might be one of his best options to sign in the offseason with. And all of this is pursuant to Carolina not signing him, which they still could. They have first crack, even if it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I'm just rooting for good hockey, man. The Canada-Sweden game turned into a really good hockey game. This one has been a good game. Not super, super entertaining, but it's been a good game. Very funny, Bearded. Very funny. For Mika to come back, you'd have to get into the offseason. The Avs would offer him the same thing they've been offering him. And Mika would have to decide he wants that and the chance to win a cup in Colorado more than he wants more money or to go to some other team, which, like, I can see the puzzle pieces, right? Like, he obviously had a life set up here. It wouldn't be hard for him to come back and continue living his life that way. He obviously liked playing here, regardless of how the negotiations went. He probably believes he could win here again. And there might be other teams in the mix that he believes he could win with, but there would be familiarity. I can see the reasons why Miko would want to come back, but also I don't know how much he cares about those things. If he cares about getting $14 million and that's it, then there's no way he's coming back, because there will be better offers on the table money-wise than what the Avs can bring him. Yeah, and I mean, Natchez has been great to watch. He's genuinely a fun hockey player to watch. So, I mean, it happens all the time. It would not surprise me, especially like the way the contract negotiations and trade played out. Is the question is how much was Miko playing chicken? How much was he actually willing to take less money? And this was just him trying to maximize the most money, and he played the game of chicken and didn't flinch, and so he got traded. If he's actually willing to take less, it could happen in the offseason. If he's dead set on getting that number that the Avs don't want to pay, then it's not going to happen. All right. I mean, I think USA has been the better team here. Finland's going to have to dig deep, though. They're going to have to find something in the third. It's been fun. I am going to take another intermission break here to go play with my dogs a little bit, and I'll talk to you in like 10 or so minutes. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. I think one of the conversations that everyone forgets about with Mikko is that he's a really good playoff producer. Like current active NHL players, he's like top 5 or something in NHL production rates. And that's where it, like, the regular season does matter to how much money you make, right? Like, you do have to produce in the regular season. But if Mikko just produces okay for the rest of the season and ends up like around a point per game or something, but then pops off and has a fantastic playoff run, no one's going to care about the slightly lower production in the regular season because he's still ridiculously good in the playoffs where it matters. So someone will absolutely pay the premium for that when it comes to Mikko. I mean, I don't know. I think people are way over dooming on him. He's still a ridiculously good hockey player, and he'll be just fine. And I think come playoff time, he'll be really, really good. But I mean, you know, Carolina doesn't want him. I'll take him back. I'm sure lots of teams would love to have him. I mean, depends on who we is. USA is winning 2-1. I'm enjoying it because it's just a good game, and I don't care who wins. What's your vote, chat? I guess some of you are in Canada, probably, but for the US's of you, who was the better broadcast so far for the Four Nations? The TNT game the other night or this ESPN game? I kind of don't want Mikko to go to Columbus just because Columbus seems like the most cursed franchise of all time. But Columbus would definitely have the money to sign him. Yeah, I think TNT is the better broadcast as well, production wise. I don't know that I like any of the intermission shows, to be honest. Oh no. Oh no. Disaster for Finland. 2 deflection goals. Yo, it's your own defenseman's goal. Your own defenseman's stick. Yep. And it just sneaks over the glove because of it. Yikes, dude. That's so tough for Saros, man. You got to feel for him on that one. I mean, Sweden did come back from a 2-goal deficit the other night, but given how okay, well now it's over. Rest in peace, Finland. Pretty rough D coverage all the way around there. Mikkola gets all turned around, and then you have Lindell trying to come over to help, but he's not covering his man. Tough. Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle. Finland basically is gonna have to win against both USA and Sweden to qualify now. Well, the first minute of the third period just completely turned this game on its head. Ooh, that looked painful. Had a feeling some of those opportunities Finland didn't capitalize on in the second were to come back to bite them a little bit. But giving up 2 goals in the first minute of a period, that's a yikes. They gave Lecky a -2 because the defensemen suck. Boo. Yeah, Saros is extended long term. Yeah, the only thing left in this game for me is don't get hurt, Arturi Lehkonen. Please stay healthy. What are the rules for terminating contracts? You're going to have to be more specific. Generally speaking, you can't just terminate a contract. You need a reason to do so. Yes, this is the All-Star break, essentially, is this Four Nations tournament. If Nashville wanted to terminate their goalie's contract, they wouldn't be allowed to, basically. The player would either have to agree to the termination, and even then, that would not clear you of the salary cap hit of it, so it wouldn't matter. Or he would have to violate some of the rules of the NHL, doing things that he's not supposed to have his contract terminated. They could buy it out whenever they wanted, but again, that comes with significant cap ramifications still. So they're pretty much committed to Saros. Look, I'm here for the Adam Fox hate. I'm all here for this. Oh, boy. Well, it's a party now. Both Tkachuk brothers on the board. I got to get my dad joke tweet off. I actually thought Mikko looked pretty good in the first period. He was playing physical. He was doing a lot of good things. This Finland team is kind of just slowed down. The first 30 minutes of the game, I thought Finland was competitive, but from the 10-minute or from the halfway point on, they just haven't been able to keep up with the U.S. I like the Tkachuk brothers, man. I don't know. I don't understand that hate. Unfortunately, Finland's defense kind of let them down, and Saros couldn't bail them out. Yeah. I think Canada US is shaping up to be a banger game for sure. Maybe 4-on-4 gives Finland a little bit of room to do something interesting. I mean, they're not coming back, but maybe they can at least make it fun. I mean, look, Saros isn't having a good year by any stretch, but he's still significantly better than Georgiev has been this year. Okay, a little 4-on-3. If you can't score here, Finland, you might as well just retire from the tournament. So score here, please. I mean, given how this game has played out, you have to think the winner of the USA Canada game is going to be in the driver's seat for the 1 seed, right? And you're assuming Finland is going to be the 4 seed based on this game and the rosters. Look, I'm not saying it can't happen. There's a reason you play the games, but based on this game, and again, small sample size, whatever, you feel like the 1 seed who gets to play Finland has a pretty easy path to that finals game. Whereas Sweden just gave Canada a big run for their money. So that 1 seed is going to be pretty important. No, I think I said it at the start. Like, I was hoping for a close game. I think if Finland wins it, they would have to win like 2-1 or something. But if USA wins, it could end up being a blowout. And that's what has happened in this period. Just shoot, Miko. All right, that was a good pass, but still, just shoot it. I mean, I don't know. Like, UPL is not like some amazing goalie. Like, his save percentage this year is actually worse than Saros is. So, oh, hang on, chat. My Chrome is freaking out. Okay, we fixed it. We're good. Yeah, the Heiskanen injury may well have just nuked Finland's hopes for this tournament, to be honest. I still wanted to believe, but clearly the results of this game are speaking for themselves. It's round robin, and then there's a semifinals and a finals in Boston. So seed 1 will play seed 4, and seed 2 will play seed 3 in the semis. At least I think. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, actually, I think I am wrong about that. I think there is just the finals. I think you're right. So never mind. There won't be a semifinals. Everything I said was wrong. That Finland's basically dead then. Like, unless they do something crazy and beat Canada, I don't see how Finland makes it after this game. Yeah, I mean you're hoping for things to go well for you at the Sweden game with that bet. No, Sweden's going to have to come through and get it done. Get that game done in regulation, so Finland doesn't get like an overtime win or something. I mean, I would love to see Helly get blown up too, but you can only ask for so much. All right, we already had Bennington look bad the other day. I think Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is a better name than Nikolai Khabibulin. Yeah, that goal was soft from Saros. The other ones, I don't know what he's supposed to do. There's a couple of ridiculous tip plays. He doesn't play that one super well, but that's essentially a breakaway situation. Like, Saros didn't play well, but I don't know how much blame you can really put on him for the porous defense. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Canada would love to start a goalie that's not even at this tournament right now, but they just picked their goalies earlier and didn't know who was going to be good this year. Got to feel nice to be the USA guys, though. They get to cruise this third period. They get to rest. And I mean, Canada has the day off, so it's whatever. But they did have to play that overtime, and they did. Makar played what 28 minutes in that game. Who's USA's TOI leader right now? Werenski has 1630. He'll hit 20, but he won't come anywhere near what the Canada defense did. So, if you believe in the rest factor, USA should have it. Canada did lose Theodore too. Fair. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Hill is having a fantastic season either. I think Binnington was reasonably the best goaltender at the time they had to make the decision. But obviously, Blackwood has had a great year, and as has Logan Thompson. So if they were allowed to wait, they may well have picked differently. But almost another tip play for Matt Chuck. I mean, Canada also lost Petrangelo, right? So, like, Finland lost Heiskanen. Every team's lost some dudes. I mean, look, the players in this clearly care more about it than I thought they were going to, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. They clearly care about things more at the Olympics. So if Landy can get healthy at the end of the season and play in the Olympics next year, I don't think he'll care too much. Probably not, but you never know. I would say the odds of Landeskog coming back are about as good as Rantanen coming back to Colorado. I'll put it to you that way. I mean, we just have no idea what Landy will look like if he comes back, right? Like, obviously, there'll be some rust there for not playing for a while, but maybe he comes back and he looks like a second liner. Maybe he comes back and he looks like a fourth liner. Maybe he comes back and decides that he can't play and then leaves again. Maybe he never comes back. All those things are on the table. What I'll say is this: like, I don't know how realistic it is Landy comes back. I think every day that goes by, it becomes less likely. Certainly, Landy would have been captain for Sweden. Um, but like, Gabe Landeskog is not the type of guy to delay things. He still wants to come back and still thinks he can come back. If he didn't think that was the case, he would come out and say it, and we'd be done. We wouldn't be having these conversations because Landy would have said, "I'm done." Maybe he's being unrealistic, but Landy is not the type of guy to just leave the team in limbo if he doesn't at least think he can make it back. And yet, no, guaranteed Landy will not play in the regular season. It's too late. There's no chance Landy plays in the regular season. It would be a playoff with him. Yeah, that was a little dirty from Armia for sure. He hurt his shoulder. He definitely grabs it there. You gotta love Matty Tkachuk, man. He's the exact type of player you hate to play against, but when he's on your team, you love that dude. I would expect they keep Druin. I don't know for sure. Like that depends on things. If Landy does come back, it gets a lot harder to keep Druin and sign all the rest of the guys you need to sign. If Landy doesn't come back, I think it's pretty automatic that they keep Druin. Yeah, I mean, there's a very legitimate possibility Barons could have got games this year if he didn't get hurt. But Avs luck with injuries, man. That's how it goes. I mean, again, I know Miko. Oh boy, both Kachuk brothers have two. I mean, how much credit are you giving for scoring the 6-1 goal on the power play? I don't know about that, but you're right. Their power play's been better with Werenski than Fox. I mean, when healthy, I think Werenski is a legit top pairing. I don't know if he's a true number one, but he's one of the best offensive defensemen in the league when he's healthy. What happened to Finland? Their defense cracked. They finally, the defense that is bad turns out is in fact bad. Took a couple of tip plays that don't go their way, and then they just fell apart on the back end. That's all. Oh, you think he's a number three? Yeah. I mean, one and two, I think, are pretty clearly Hughes and Makar. Makar being one, in my opinion, but I don't want to get into that debate. Um, there's probably a couple of guys you could say are number three, but Werenski's definitely in that conversation, at least this season. Like I'm not going to argue with you if you have Werenski at 3. It just depends on what you want. Like if you want a little bit more rounded of a player, you might throw Darlene into that conversation. You might throw Josh Morrissey into that conversation. If you're looking at more than just this season, you have to have Adam Fox in that conversation, even if you don't like him. And then I don't know. I keep thinking Victor Hedman's going to fall off the cliff, but somehow he just continues to be really, really good. Heiskanen has had like a really down year. If you're talking about before this year, yeah, he's definitely in that conversation, especially for a well-rounded D. Colorado's inconsistency been partially due to no captain for 3 years. Seems like they don't have that voice on the ice to settle them down. I mean, I think it's a factor. I wouldn't call it a main factor. I don't even know if I'd call it a significant factor, but it's not nothing. Like there is definitely some element of that to the abs on ice where I think more than getting them to settle down, I think it's more of getting them to focus at the right times. Like this team I gets overconfident at times, or they are unconcerned when they fall behind in games where maybe they should be doing a better job of trying to play from ahead or keeping games close. And they just feel like they don't have that voice to laser focus them in at times. I mean, I actually think Quinn Hughes would be less impressive on a better team. Vancouver lacks play drivers so badly that Hughes pretty much has to drive all the play by himself. I mean, you would really like to see Landy, if he doesn't play in the playoffs, at least get close. And if he's not ready to go by the start of next season, really, if he cannot guarantee you that he'll be ready to go by July 1st, you have to treat it like he's done. Yeah, USA just blew him up in the third, man. It was crazy. They scored 2 goals in the first 40 seconds of the period to make it 4-1, and it's just been over. I mean, I think it's an interesting conversation. I've looked into this a lot just because of the Makar Hughes debate that's been going on this year. And like, don't get me wrong, Hughes is really, really good. I'm not trying to take it away from him, but the quality of his competition isn't very good. He gets a lot of shifts against the weaker players, whereas Makar's quality of competition is outrageously good. And yeah, Makar gets to play with McKinnon a bunch, so he also has a better guy to play with, but he's playing against significantly tougher competition than Hughes is. I think USA and Canada are pretty close, man. I really do. Yeah, that one softy from Hellebuck, or you probably had this shutout. Unfortunate. Well, it was a fun 2 periods, and then it was a fun 3rd period if you were rooting for USA. Yoki Haru got the goal for Finland. It was a total softie from Hellebuck. Totally botched it. Yeah, I actually my review of the Canada game wasn't really a review; it was just a review of McKinnon's play, and that's I said the same thing. I was like, "Look, that's the version of Nathan McKinnon the Avs need. The guy who just goes beast mode and drives the net and shoots the puck. Like with that version of Nathan McKinnon, the Avs could go a long way." There's lucky for Chuck there, but that game's over. They're just playing shinny right now. Who gets player of the game? Can they give player of the game to both the Kachucks? That would be funny. Werenski did have a 3-point night, to be fair. You'd give it to him. I guess Kachuk had a Matthew Kachuk had a 3-point night as well. Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. People that's exactly the best version of Nathan McKinnon. What you saw from him in overtime is exactly who you want Nathan McKinnon to be. People say it otherwise are just stupid, not paying attention, or have ulterior motives. Yeah, Brady a little more expensive on the cap than Memphis, though, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's got 2 years left at 8 million compared to Natchez' 5 point whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, I guess Stars could put a couple of those a little better, but I just don't. The defense in front of him is just so poor. Like, what's he supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, anyone saying Nathan McKinnon has been selfish this year just isn't watching Nathan McKinnon. He leads the league in assists. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, I do think Natchez can be a little bit of that factor next to McKinnon too, where it's like McKinnon can play the decoy a little bit. with Nate just out there. And like the same was true of Rantanen when Rantanen was playing, but so many games this year, Rantanen was just coasting around that it didn't really work like that. Anyway, USA turned this into a blowout. It was a good game for 2 periods, but then, yeah, Finland just kind of collapsed on themselves in the third, and USA took over. So it was a fun one. We do have a regular pod tomorrow. It's a little bit earlier. I think we're going at 1:15 Mountain. So tune in early for the pod tomorrow. But appreciate hanging out with all you guys. We're going to wrap up this one. It was fun, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, I guess.